So I have to then turn off the YouTube stream, wait till it recognizes it, turn it right back on. And then it works. I don't know why.
Weird.
Not like anyone ever watches over on YouTube, but there we go. Now we got that going.
Plancha.
I got the Jamba Juice.
Nice. I have Diet O.
Ah, nice.
We actually get that prepared so I don't have to run out of food. Just a second. I did not prepare myself with extra soda.
What up, everybody? Oh, I could turn that off. Don't need that there.
I'm trying to connect to all this random stuff to Discord. When you share remote desktop, will you be able to hear my song?
Yeah, as long as you have the option for all of that for like send computer audio, it should be good. All right, we are on stream. We're live. Let me go ahead and bring your Discord window back over here real quick.
Hi.
Cool. There we go. All right, you are on stream.
Woohoo! One more shot.
Yeah. What are you taking shots of? Sorry.
I have this twisted shots. The first one I did was Jolly. I don't know, kind of tastes like
What are they though?
water. Hang on. Too many things in my hands. They are so they're twisted shots.
Oh, so they're like prepackaged like alcohol. Okay.
Yeah, and
Nice.
they're split. If you can see.
Okay, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're relatively good. I mean, for being a prepackaged one, they're
Yeah. They are good. Yeah.
the first one was like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. This one is a pineapple upside down cake. And that
What up, Johnny?
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah, buddy.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should be good to share your screen. Johnny, what we're doing is Nix has some stuff that they've been working on, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at it in Reaper and just try to figure out what's causing some issues here and there and just try to figure out how we can get this mix a little bit dialed in. So that's the game plan for, I don't know, maybe first hour or so. We'll figure it out. We'll see what we can do. Cool. Okay. Let me figure out how to make this not tiny small.
Okay.
Pop out.
And then I didn't see any options for volume from my screen. So I'm not.
It would have been on like the share dialog. Go ahead and just hit play. Spacebar. Yeah, I got it.
You have the sound?
Yeah, let me see if I can turn that up. It's not loud enough in the mix.
Okay. I'm just going to keep it playing.
Okay, I was able to turn up the.
Okay, and I'm gonna unmute those channels.
Yeah, we should be good. John, what you up to tonight, buddy? What you got going on?
Oh, since you don't have to talk to me, I'm gonna pull up. No, that's probably gonna use too many system resources. Dang it, I won't be able to see the chat. Oh well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess that would be.
Because Brave likes to use, and in fact,
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if there's a solution for you. Oh, give me a moment. Let me do some quick googling. Web-based Twitch chat for viewers.
I
Let's
could
see.
download Twitch on my phone and have it open over the.
Yeah, actually, you can do that. Yeah, that would be a good way to do it.
Okay. Let me grab
Can you pull up just chat on Twitch? Well, this is super old, but yeah, apparently you
now
can
that I
pop
have
out the
fast
chat.
internet, it is. We're able to screen share and everything.
I know.
Yeah.
Last time this was a clusterfuck. If you pull it up on the browser, there might be like a way to pop out just the chat. Hold on, let me check on my browser real quick. Twitch.tv/Creatorbeat official. Let me see if I can mute this. Oh, it is muted. Good.
Oh, no, I don't need to share all of my.
Yeah, you don't. I don't need to see your emails. I do not see. Oh, there is. It's under the cog wheel.
Trying to.
Yeah, that works. That perfectly works. Yeah, pull up the stream and in your browser real quick. I'll show you how to do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Close my 50 million things because I want to make sure that Reaper doesn't die.
Yeah.
Because I've killed it multiple times. Okay, watch out, everybody. Porn Central over here. I look at all kinds of untoward things, like cats.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And Reddit. Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and mute that if it's not already muted. Cool. So on the little cog wheel at the bottom right corner below chat, like that, go to pop out chat. There you go. Now you can close your browser tab if you need to, or if that's going to kill your browser, then do whatever you need to. Just go to another page, whatever. But yeah, that should be good. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. Now you got chat. Cool.
Perfect. Hi, Johnny.
Oh, cool. Cashed out. Nice. Nice. Good deal. Okay. Sorry, I had a window covering chat. Cool. Okay. Well, I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Hold
Fabulous.
on. I made a couple of notes. Let me see if I need to reference those real quick. Oh yeah. So before we go any further, regarding your whole move tracks with Melodyne thing, I couldn't do a lot of digging just before while I was, rebooting Discord and all that. But you might want to open a support ticket with Celemony and figure out if there's a trick to do it, because technically it's supposed to handle just fine. And like moving stuff, it's supposed to recognize because it uses aura. it's supposed to work. So I would contact Celemony through their support chat or a support ticket system and let them know this is your setup. You're using Reaper. Here's the version. And how can I do this? Because they will let you know whether it's possible or if it's a bug or if there's a workaround. That's what I would suggest on that. Second thing is actually the critical thing here. Did you know that Reaper has autosave like Word does?
Yes.
Did you turn that on?
I turned that on.
Okay, good.
I have it enabled.
I think you can set like the thresholds.
Settings.
You can get to that settings with command comma, just so you know. Almost every single Mac app, the default option, the default command to get into the preferences is command comma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where's auto saves? I don't know. I don't remember.
It is under project and then project saving. Hi, babies. Oh no, I thought I heard something.
Yeah, auto save to time-stamped file in project directory. I have it turned on.
You might want to knock that autosave interval down from 15 minutes down to like 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, autosaves. Cool. And those basically save it as like .back files or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah. Cool. Okay. So both of those have been addressed.
As I understand it, I can just make a track and call it a folder and it doesn't affect anything. I can't apply FX or anything to anything. I can just do this that way that I can collapse things like
Yeah.
So that is what I have done for the instrument panel because
yeah, that's fine.
The way that I work, my instruments are pretty much fine. I don't have to tune anything out on these stems. Occasionally, I have to turn the bass down.
And honestly, for your workflow, that's entirely reasonable because now that gives you a global volume control over your entire instrument bed. So if you wanted to bring everything, instead of like, bringing your volume of your vocals up, if you need to bring your instrument bed down, you could do that. So that's an option because folders are just a bus. It's just any other track, just with children. That's it. So yeah, that's super easy.
My occasional problem child with my type of music is the bass track. And usually I'm coming in here and I'm literally knocking it down by one scooch of the of my mouse just to bring it down past peaking.
Yeah. Because
every once in a great while I get these 2 drum beats that start the track that like to
peak.
And I usually just find them and clip them out.
And chances are that's because it was mastered and like rendered out to like literally 0.0. So it's like it's already like right there. And as you start adding that into like Reaper and it's doing its thing, it might detect it differently, or maybe it was rendered out already peaking. So Reaper's like, oh shit, that's loud. So it'll hit the red. Or it's loud enough to where it compounds with everything else. Like, especially if you have a bass and a kick at the same time, they're hitting the same time. Lower frequencies are very dense and very loud, and they crowd. So you need to make sure that one is kind of moving out of the way for the other. And typically the right way to do that is you'll sidechain your bass to listen to the kick. So that way, every time the kick hits, it just dips down a little bit on the bass, just a little bit to move out of the way. So it's like basically think of like your graphic EQ, right? You only have so much room in that bandwidth, in that spectrum. So you can't put too much stuff at like 80 hertz. You can't put too much stuff at 200 hertz. You need to like cut and like notch and like puzzle piece it kind of together, right? So that's kind of what you're going to end up doing. That's why when you just slam a bunch of instruments together, it gets all muddy really quick. And
Right.
it's because you actually have to put in a little bit of puzzling to get things to jive together. So what's the first thing that we need to look at here?
Our two main concerns, especially with this track, I've got some understandability problems and I've got this peaking issue. Audibly, my volume all sounds mostly the same. I think I've got a couple of problematic areas that I need to bring up that are way too fucking quiet. But I keep getting these random peaking incidents where it's only showing me on the master bus. And it's not showing me anywhere else where it's happening, but I'm fairly certain that it is happening on the chorus tracks. And
Yeah.
so we have to focus on them. But why don't we, and then because you can see my screen,
Yeah.
I'll click it off every time it comes on, but why don't we'll play the song once through and you can see what it's doing. I usually write down my workflow. I write down the words that it's doing it on so that I can find the word and focus on that.
Gotcha. Okay. I have a better option for you than I have a better option for you there. But yeah, let's let it roll.
Okay. And then I'll just keep my mouse over here and click it off every time it comes on.
And up before a painted throne, write my name in chain and stone. While your collar's on my chest, just to bleed it like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine, fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruised my hands to shape your crown. You raised me up and let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweetly lied. They called it love, it felt like pride. Fealty, I gave you all of me. March through fire, smile through skies. Built your world from broken parts. Fealty, swore you never leave. And when the roof began to fall, you vanished like I dreamed it all. Fealty.
Oops, I clicked something.
March through fire, smile through skies. Built your world from broken parts. Fealty, swore you never leave.
Okay, you can stop it real quick. Spacebar, 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 spacebar.
I know, but my hand wasn't over there.
Oh, okay. My hand lives on the left side of the keyboard. Sorry.
My hand was already on the mouse, so I was
Gotcha.
I was
Gotcha.
doing
Gotcha.
it
Gotcha.
here.
Okay.
The big problem is the chorus. The
Yeah. So here's what I think is happening. Yeah. No. Here's what I think is happening. Because during the in fact, go ahead and just pick up during the vocals during the verse. Just go to the start of the vocals for the verse.
Okay.
That's the chorus.
Oh, that's the chorus.
Yeah.
This section right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
go to the beginning of the verse.
Sorry.
Yeah. So go ahead and just hit play. So here's what we have going on here, right? Your main verse is only hitting at like, I'm guessing that's like minus 8.1, not that high.
Right.
We look at the instrument bus, and your instrument bus is like 1.3, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's 1.3. So your instrument bus alone is really close to like that zero, really close to that clipping limit, and that's mostly because of the drums. And let's see, what else was it? I think effects was kind of loud at like minus 5.6. But yeah, it's mostly drums, right? So it is what it is.
Okay.
The easy fix here is if you're running out of headroom on the instrument bus, then we're going to want to bring that down a bit. And the reason why we're going to bring that down a bit, and don't make a move yet. So if you did it, undo it.
I didn't.
Okay, cool.
I just hovered.
So what we're going to want to do, and actually I would advise putting all of your vocals in a bus as well.
Okay, let me create Command
T.
over here. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was hitting Control T instead of Command T.
I would just call it vocals.
I don't remember how to highlight them all and drag them into the thingy.
Oh, you just click on the first one, hold down Shift, click on the last one. And then just drag it up and you'll see the little folder icon. No, don't on a button, not on a button. Cancel out of that. So grab it in like a blank space in that. Yep. And just drag it up to the dividing line between the two. And it takes a little bit of jankiness, but like you'll eventually get it to a folder.
Is the symbol going to change?
Yeah, the symbol will change. It changes to a folder. There it is. There's a folder. That was weird. It
did not throw these into the bus. It did not bus these. I do not see any orange lights on any of them.
Click on the IO button on one of those. There it is. You see how it says parent send channels, blah, blah, blah?
Oh, there it is.
That checkbox up at the top.
I did that one manually. Let me check the second one. There is no send on the second one.
No, you see that first checkbox right where your mouse is. Parent send channels from 2. All goes to 1 and 2. Basically, if you have that checkbox checked, it goes to the parent folder.
Okay, so even though this light is blue and this light is green, this is still sent. These are all still sending to the bus?
Honestly, I don't even remember what those colors mean, to be fair. Here's an idea. You can make sure that they're all sending. If you don't do stuff. Don't do stuff. Go ahead and mute all of your vocal tracks. Now hit play. Unmute your verse. Okay, that's routed. Go to the chorus where the other tracks are and do the same thing. Check all those.
Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruised my hands.
Just jump to the chorus.
You raised me up and then oh, how the water felt like pride. Fealty I gave you.
Okay, yeah, those did not route. Why did those not route?
I'm telling you, consistently, I have this problem where everybody's like, just do this. And I do it, and it don't work. There's supposed to be a thing where if I...
Yeah. They're supposed to automatically route.
And Ken showed it, but I'm supposed to press a button, and I don't remember what button it was. But
I don't know.
Highlight everything, and it was hold down something and drag and drop.
I have an idea. No, don't stop. Undo to get to before putting it in the folder. There we go. Now make sure those folders are selected.
Hang on. I want to make sure that this send is off. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, just grab it. Just once you have them selected, grab a blank space, no modifiers, and move it up to that dividing line in between that one. Once you get to the folder thing, go up a tiny bit more. Oh, not that far. Yeah, that should work. And it's not high enough resolution. I can't really see the colors.
Blue, green. These are not sending.
Why would those not send?
I just want to try Ken's thing.
Yeah, try it.
Because I think maybe it's the win. It's my, well, I call it the win key because I have a regular stinking keyboard. But I think that it is holding down the win key, dragging and dropping. No, it did not do it. I'm going to undo. There we go. Now they're all green instead of one blue. So there is no sends right now.
Okay. That's so, yeah. So the weird, you should just be able to put them in a folder and it automatically creates the send up to the parent folder. Here, let me test it with mine real quick. I have Reaper open here. Let's just create a few tracks. Oh, turn those off. Yeah, give me all the blue lights.
Oh, wait, maybe it's this. Hang on. Okay, everybody's selected. No, everybody's not selected. Now everybody. Oh, oops. I undid the bus. I went so far back in history, I undid did the bus. Let's do this again. Let's create the bus.
Yeah, it definitely worked.
Okay. There it is. It's holding down shift.
You shouldn't have to hold down anything. That's what I'm saying.
Now they are all sending. And if I just go like that, they're all in the folder.
Yeah, something with whatever you're doing is fucking weird. Because you should not have to do that, because I literally just dragged them up the way that I showed you in the first place and they just worked. But they don't show any sense. It just, because that parent checkbox is checked, it just automatically does it. So I don't know what happened, but either way, okay, it's working now. And God knows what repercussions we'll see down the road. Either way, so now we have a master volume for your vocals. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. So now we have a master volume for your instruments and a master volume for your Vox. So now we can start
However, keep in mind, all I did was make a folder. I did not.
Doesn't matter. They're volume. Nope. Parent folders are buses. That's how Reaper works.
Oh, I thought I was just making a folder and I had to make a bus separately. So,
this is not Pro Tools. This is not Pro Tools. Buses are not separate. A track can literally do everything no matter what it is.
I was going about things the worst way possible, thinking I was just using an empty track as just a folder holder so that I could collapse things to make things easily viewable.
I mean, it can do that too. But it's also a volume. It's a hierarchical structure to where that's what I was saying is when that checkbox is checked, the parent send to blah, 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 that sends audio to the bus that is the parent folder. That's how Reaper works. It just automatically does that. That is how the program is built.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Just because you want to put shit in a folder, you should not have to build routing for it. It just does it. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are not sending to the folder, though volume works.
I
If
thought
put
those
it in
were.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
So you can see here. Well, you might not be able to see.
I could have
The
swore those
master
were in
bus
a folder.
right there, receives, and I've got all my receives. Look here, I have no receives
Well, then why does that say instrument folder?
because that's what I named it.
But are the things not inside it?
The things are inside it. Well,
Well,
there
then,
we go.
yeah. See, that's why I was like,
No sense. Or else I would.
here, let's do this real quick. Hit play
It felt like pride.
and mute out your instrument tracks, not the main instrument. Yeah.
I need to hear you. Okay.
Oh.
Mute what?
Mute out your instrument tracks one by one, not the main one.
Drums gone.
Leave them muted.
Okay, bass and drums are gone.
Yeah.
Synth and FX are still going. There goes synth.
You see how that parent stopped?
No, I didn't notice that. What was I supposed to note? Oh, so it is getting the volume.
Yes.
However, if
That's
I
how
apply
Reaper
an
works.
If I apply an effects to it, it will not apply the effects to
Yes,
all of these
it does. Yes, it does.
But then why didn't it do it earlier when I had that?
Don't know what you're talking about because I didn't see it. But what it does is it applies the effect not to the individual tracks down below, but to the output of that folder, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. Why does it have no sense? We can see if I hover that this master bus is in fact receiving those channels.
Because you built that weird. You built it wrong. I don't know why you had to do it that way, but the way that top instrument folder is working is the way it's supposed to work. That's the way that Reaper's supposed to work. Now, here's what you can do. Open up the I/O, the routing on your instrument folder. Hit play. Now, open it back up. Mute out your vocals real quick. Hopefully that doesn't close that window.
You
Just
want me to unmute the
no, leave that the way it is for now. Just mute your main vocal track. God, why did I hate that it keeps closing? Yeah, unmute all of your instrument tracks. Now, that checkbox up at the top left, parent or the master send, blah blah blah. Uncheck that. Watch what happens to your master bus. Gone. Check it again.
Hang on.
Now it's back.
Okay.
So that's that. The only difference there is that checkbox, because it's routing up to the master bus, it is the top level parent. It says master instead of parent. Let's do this. Go ahead and mute out your bass, synth, and effects. And then just go back to the beginning. Oh, it looped. Okay, cool.
I have it on
cool. Okay.
on repeat. But let's prove out something.
Yeah.
Let me turn this up so I can hear it. And I want to test.
Wait, hold on. Wait. I want to show you something first.
Okay.
So go ahead and open up the routing on your drums. Uncheck that parent send checkbox. See how it's still going on the drum track, but not to the parent? It's not muted. It's not sending audio to its parent folder. You can technically build a routing, a send from here to another folder that is routing to the master bus, but this will only control whether it goes to its parent folder. And that's how Reaper works. You just put shit in a parent, routing, done. Don't need to build things just to get buses. You just put them in a folder, that's it.
Now I want to try my thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this up so I can hear it real good. Okay.
It's already going.
I hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to make sure of.
Yep.
Because when I did it to vocals, it did not, or earlier, it didn't. And that's why I thought I was making it function just like a placeholder folder, just so that I could collapse things on my screen.
Yeah, whatever you did earlier, I can't speak to because I didn't see it, but clearly it works. And I don't know why your vocal bus down there wasn't working. I don't get that, but either way, that is the way it's supposed to work. You put shit in a folder, it magically sends to the parent. You shouldn't have to have sends just to put stuff in a folder. You're doing it that way. It's antithetical to the way Reaper works.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it could just be my absolute newbiness.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just going off of what I see on,
this,
what Ken is saying.
Yeah,
and
but this is why I was saying you need to go through some Reaper one-on-one courses because it explains these things.
That's what I'm going through is Ken's courses. It's when you go to Reaper and it's got all the videos.
Yeah.
It's all Ken's stuff.
Yeah. So is it like Reaper 101? Like,
yeah, it's
like the like nuts to soup sort of like tutorial thing.
Let me show you exactly where I'm going. When you told me to go through everything, I went here. Where it says start here. I've been starting at the beginning and working my way down. And all of these videos are all Ken's. Everything is done by Ken. And I've been slowly working my way through. But then also I end up asking questions because I'm doing stuff and I pull up a Ken video.
Yeah.
He's describing something. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to see. I know that my folder is sending when I have two lights here like this, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And then my master bus has a boop and then a boop. And then I know that I've got my sends and everything so that I've got a visual indicator in front of my face meet that I have done what is supposed to be, which was why I didn't think
that's fair.
The folder was a bust because I'm like, I don't see any sends. My lights are not on. And Ken taught me that the lights are supposed to be on.
Yeah.
So this folder's doing nothing. Okay.
I guess that makes sense. It's weird. I don't know why it wouldn't just work because
But anyways.
Yeah, because I just made some tracks and it puts it just makes it blue. Yeah.
So I might as well call this what this is.
Vocals.
Okay, instrument bus, master bus. Got it.
Don't call it master bus because it's not the master bus.
Oh.
That's vocals. Okay. Master bus is the one at the bottom left.
This thing right here?
Yep.
Gotcha. How come you can't, or can you? Can you add an effect?
Yes, you can.
To a master?
Yes, you can.
For some reason, I didn't think I could
do that. That is where your that is basically what's called like your mix bus or your master bus, and that's where you put like your final like mix effects or mastering effects or whatever you want to do. Like that's where all those go. It's also called your 2 bus, your stereo bus, print bus, whatever you want to call it.
So technically, if this is a master bus and I like Loud Max because it actually does what I want, I should be able to, in theory, come in here.
Yeah, you can put that on there.
Oh, I have to scroll out of Muse to get it to come up. Go to my plugins and get Loud Max. Set
Yeah.
it to my default of 6 and 9 to be tweaked later, roughly because me and Slider's done.
Yeah.
And then everything, nothing should, in theory, because Loud Max has worked wonders for me in the past.
Mhm.
Nothing should be peaking now.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say you want to track into that, and you'd probably, at this level, you don't want to mix into it because you're not going to understand why things are happening. So I would say leave your master effects off until like you're ready to kind of hear what something sounds like in a finished state, right?
Okay.
Also, it's going to contribute to like latency and stuff like that. So
there's a lot of things that I don't understand, and a lot of
Yeah.
things that seemingly do nothing until they're paired with 5 other things. So when I'm trying to learn, like EQ, unless something is set to its maximum where I can obviously notice a change, I don't know what I'm doing, and I am just relying
Yeah.
on other people's guides, which is how I got to
Fully understand. Fully understand.
I used and it's worked for me. I saved this as
Oh, that's weird.
Hmm.
Why is that reducing frequencies across the board? What's the theory there?
I just did what I was told.
From where? Yeah, whose was this?
This was it was ChatGPT.
ChatGPT makes shit up all the time.
I noticed a difference. I noticed a clarity difference, so I was like, I'll keep it then.
Yeah, that's like a 3 dB reduction. I mean, you might as well almost just kind of turn down the volume instead of doing anything else. Yeah, you're starting to roll off at like 1K, but like this doesn't really do a lot. But
okay,
I'm just looking. I've never seen an EQ done like that.
Oh, I might have also gotten this wrong. Was this one of the ones that I was supposed to be 1800? That I misunderstood?
You would not put a low shelf at 1800.
Okay, then I didn't misunderstand it. Because I did.
Well, I mean, you might.
In some of the directions that I was being given by ChatGPT, it kept using shorthand, and I was taking it at face value.
Yeah. No, you're probably instead of a low shelf, you're probably thinking of a low cut, which in this case is a high pass.
So high.
There we go. That looks better.
High pass at 180.
Okay, so yeah. So a high pass means it lets higher frequencies than whatever frequency you set pass it. A low pass is on the other end. It's going to, chop off the high stuff because it only lets stuff lower than that frequency get through. So the reason why you would put a high pass somewhere around like give or take 180, 150, whatever your voice is because there's a lot of mud in that like sub 150 range that is useless information. And that would actually contribute to adding extra information that muddies up your bass and your kick. Low end synths, stuff like that. So by basically chopping all that shit off at like around 200, 150, somewhere around there.
So
That's
why don't we go through these two right
yeah,
here?
yeah. So what's the other what's the other one there? What's number 2?
2 is a band.
Where is the what? Oh, that's literally doing nothing other than because that's off the screen to the left.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was wrong, but I
Yeah, that's
again, I don't. It might have been. See,
yeah, that's
my
don't
confusion.
yeah,
It might have been 300.
don't
Could have been 3,000.
don't mix by ChatGPT.
I don't have anything else to mix by. If nobody tells me,
Real people, real people, real people, real people.
That's what you're here for.
Yes.
So let's get this fixed so
So-
I can save my preset and then
Yeah.
I can
So
use it in the future from what you give me.
unfortunately, even like expert people who have these frequencies all memorized, I don't. I just kind of figure it out. It does depend on like who the voice is and what works for those people, because like they might say, oh yeah, you want to cut it like one, or like cut it 1K and then cut it 3K and then boost to the top end. Like, cool, that might be a generality, but it's not for like everyone. You get that? So what I would do is I would actually let's go back to that EQ, because I do want to look at the other things.
First, let's do this. Because this was I can't just click on it and click delete.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's option delete.
Oh, I don't have that many hands. Option Win or Alt.
What keyboard do you have, by the way?
A regular Windows keyboard.
I mean, what keyboard specifically? Is it like a mechanical or?
Mage G.
Okay, but it's probably regular keycaps, right?
It's mechanical in nature. I'm just gonna do this the easy way.
So hold on, because you need to do this the right way. Keyboard. Let's see, where is it?
Here it is. It is something triangle?
Yeah, I think that's click. Yeah, that's option click.
All right, let's do control click. Nope. Okay, let's do alt click. It's alt. Okay.
Your life would be much easier if you figured out what does what.
I have figured out what does what many times, but I don't
Yeah.
have. I didn't write it on my keycap, so I keep forgetting.
You can get Mac specific keycaps. I have a regular mechanical keyboard, and then I bought a set of keycaps, just because I thought the keycaps looked cool, and they actually came with extra keys for Mac, so it comes with both Windows keys and Mac keys. Hold on, I'm trying to find something real quick because this is extremely useful for you. Where did this go? Hold on. Where is it?
Silver Sharpie. Then I'd literally write on my keycaps right now. OPT and CMD.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Mac swap command and option, I think is what it is. Keyboard modifier keys. Is that it?
We're gonna do this for right now for the in now moment so that we don't have to focus on me and my shitty keyboard. I'm just going to make a quick paper note and stick it next to my keyboard so that you can tell me do XYZ. Okay. Oh, right.
Okay.
E
Here.
Mac.
Let me send you the screenshot real quick.
I don't want to see. Okay. Okay. So the option key is Alt, and
Yeah. So
what's the other one? Command CMD.
yeah. So what I did on mine, because technically, Windows keyboards they map with some of the keys reversed. I went into my modifier keys and I just swapped them. So that way they are the
control is control.
yeah. So basically, from outside in, it's Control, Option, and then Command, right? Command is the one that's directly under your thumb, next to the space bar. So
No, that's Option. Alt is right next to the space bar. That's Option.
that's not the way it's supposed to be. On a Mac,
Oh, on a Mac the keys are swapped.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I sent you a screenshot of my remap, so that way my keyboard, my Windows keyboards here and at work, they are reminiscent of an actual Mac keyboard. So that way, if I'm on my laptop, I don't have to do different things than when I'm on a dock. And the cool thing is, this is keyboard specific too.
All right. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make this picture biggerized. Not a word, but we're gonna go with it.
You're almost there.
How did you get here?
I just searched up at the top for keyboard because I don't like to read. Yeah, just go to that first one. First one. Yep. It'll take some moment. Now click on keyboard shortcuts. To the right. Oh, there we go. That works too. Scroll down. Yep, modifier keys are already selected. So you have your keyboard set. You only have one keyboard, right?
Yes.
Click the drop down just to make sure it's not doing something weird. Yep, cool. So yeah, just make that map properly. Yeah, just match it to mine.
Oh, match it to yours. Duh. Okay. Control, Option, Command. I don't have in.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, if you don't have an FN key, that's fine.
I do have an FN key, but it's an FN key.
No. I mean, I have an FN key too. Maybe it's not detected on this keyboard. Maybe it just doesn't know what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know.
We now are matchy.
Yeah. So that means Command. So your Command C for copy and paste should be directly under your thumb.
I remapped those keys a long time ago so that I can actually use Control C, Control V.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Because I couldn't remember anything else despite trying multiple times. So I was like, okay, how do I remap keys to make it do what I want it to do instead of what it wants to do?
So yeah, from left to right, it's Control, Option, Command.
Okay.
Yep.
But I also wrote a little note. Win is Command. Option is Alt.
Nice. Yeah, I could never remember what was what. I just had to finally swap them and just try to like burn in the picture of my laptop into my brain. And then eventually I remembered, oh yeah, command is under my thumb, control's where control is, so that means the only one left is option.
I'm elderly, Lou.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sweet. All right, let's start with Ria EQ and let's fix my hot mess that I have been living with.
Yeah.
On everything, and get this done. Let's talk about what I'm going for with my vocals. I am trying to emulate what I hear in my head. Now I know I'm not going to get there precisely, but I'd like to get it closely. In my head, when I talk, I have a bassiness to my voice, even when I go up in register, little higher in register.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got a tonality, and I would like the playback audio to match that tonality so that when I play it through the speakers, I can hear that tonality.
So
because it's coming out tinny and flat.
Yeah. So the first problem is you have to actually like remove the problems that a recording has, right? You're not going to immediately first step make something sound like something else. You have to figure out, cool, what are the problems? Because a lot of the times when you're hearing something that's like tinny or edgy or whatever, it's because that's overpowering the lower frequencies. So if you remove those frequencies, it's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, right?
Right.
Yeah. So let's just start with kind of like analyzing like what the EQ moves that we have here are, undo the ones that are just real bad, and go from there. So let's just.
So we started with high pass, and we
Yeah.
180, -3.5, and 2.
Yeah. Can you reset the gain back to 0? You could just double click on the slider. It'll go to 0. There you go. Okay. So that didn't make any actual moves. We'll go ahead and undo it. We'll leave it the way it is for now.
So
Command-
back to,
Command Z. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at what number 2 is doing.
Okay.
Again, that's like not a lot, but it's just kind of weird.
This was already all the way
Yeah,
all the way
and
down.
it was literally doing nothing. Yeah, but right now, like, it's only doing a little bit of dipping, and it's only for that cue, for that bandwidth, right? So it's only like a portion of it. So something else is removing everything. Let's look at 3. Let's see what 3 is doing. High. Oh, it's our high shelf. Okay. So
what is a high shelf, and what's the difference between a high shelf and a high pass?
So a shelf is like exactly what the word is. It's a shelf. It's like this. No, it's like this, right? It goes up, it goes down, right? A pass means only like the low stuff will pass it, or the high stuff will pass it. So that's kind of what those are. A shelf basically acts like it's like a band, but like way wider, right? If a band is like a little thing like this, a shelf is like this. So it affects
I can't see you anymore in Discord.
Really?
So when
because
I have no
wait,
idea what you're doing.
You don't see my preview on the share?
I see mine.
That's weird, because I see mine. I don't know. Maybe you clicked on the hide this user. Either way, yeah. So here's what you can do.
Anyways, go ahead.
Take that gain on the shelf and slowly turn it up. See how it moves everything? Move it up to like plus 10 or something. Yeah, like right around there, right? Yeah. Now, leave it there. And now the frequency, which we could see is like completely off the screen, slowly move that up, and you'll see where that shelf starts taking effect.
Okay. These don't, so this doesn't translate to anything in my ears. I have no idea what this slider is doing.
Okay,
unless I hear it.
hold on. Let me share my screen. Let's see. Let's just share.
Let me actually bring up Twitch on my phone so that I can actually see you, because I installed it.
Why will you not let me share my screen? Oh, there we go. Okay, so you
Oh, hey, look at that.
okay, you should be able to see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's turn that off, and we'll just go. Oh, that's not being new. I can't type. Okay, so let's see. So I'm gonna make this a low. I'm gonna make this a high pass.
I see your chat.
What?
I think you selected. And there's an echo.
Hold on. Oh, that was the wrong one.
I think when you shared your screen,
Yeah.
you
Hold on.
chose the chat client. Wee, trippy. Gotta take a screenshot of this for you.
Okay, now it should be working.
There we go.
Now you see Reaper,
Yeah, now I
Okay.
see Reaper.
and you see the re-queue instance.
I do, but I can't make it out. It's very tiny.
Yeah, you might need to like pop out your viewer, but I can make this bigger too. Let me know when you're ready.
There we go. Hide chat.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
I can't read those words, but it'll match my screen anyways.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm gonna go
there's
ahead.
an echo.
Why is there an echo? Maybe that. Oh, maybe that kills noise cancellation. Let me switch to my headphones real quick.
Okay. I hope everybody's finding this super interesting.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Is there an echo?
A little bit? No.
No. Okay. Cool.
I still come behind me.
What?
I hear myself after I hear myself.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Why is that happening? Maybe it's sending the stream audio over the share too. That's weird. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know how to fix that.
Okay, I'll just
Okay.
live with it.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take this primary or the first band. We're gonna turn that into a high pass, right? And then we're gonna take this higher band here. Gonna turn that. Oh, that was already a high shelf. So now we can go into our gain. boosts this here. So what this does is this boosts everything here. So it makes it louder, right? Think of it basically an EQ is just a fuck ton of volume knobs, one for each frequency in the spectrum, right? So
Okay.
this
I
here,
reset everything
okay,
to match your screen. So now I have 5 bands.
okay. So
My first one is high.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just showing you how this works, trying to make it like make sense, right? So basically, a high shelf, it whatever you set the frequency to is basically where that starts, right? So like around here, there's no gain, no cut, there's no boost, no cut. It's just what goes in is what goes out. Once it starts hitting here, it starts getting louder and louder and louder at these frequencies. So all of the air frequencies, the hiss, the high end cymbals right here, this is what would be getting louder. If we brought it down here, then it's more like top end of vocals, top end of guitar, right? You can make this louder, or you can cut that if you needed, if it was too bright, right? That's what a shelf does. So then if we're looking at a cut or a pass, whatever you want to call it, see how it does this weird hump here? That's called a resonance bump, and that's basically caused by not the gain, it's by the bandwidth. So you would typically want it to be looking like smooth, right? But if you wanted to have like a little bump before it drops off, this is an actual trick that you can do, right? So usually if I'm doing a high pass, like maybe let's say at like, I don't know, 180, somewhere around here, you do that. And then the Q will kind of like Q and bandwidth are synonymous, and that's the letter Q. And basically, it's going to control how steep it is. ReQ doesn't give you a lot of controls. It works different from other EQs that might be a little more full featured, where you can like control the slope of this with the how aggressive it is. Thought there was a way to do that somewhere.
I use a different EQ?
I mean, you can, but ReQ is like really good. It's really powerful. It's transparent. It just depends on what you're trying to do. It's different tools for different tasks. But basically, what you would do is so probably like somewhere around, what's that, like 190, 180, kind of like where things start getting muddy and like useless, you're doing that, right? Maybe you're going to have like a small top end boost. Oh, no, I don't have the right one selected. This one, there we go. So maybe like something like this. And then let's say there's a little bit of like muddiness here. Let's say, where is that? That's around, let's say 1K. Somewhere around 1K. Your mouse wheel will make the bandwidth larger or smaller. That's an easy way to adjust that. And then you could be like, oh, I just need a little gradual reduction of like honkiness right here or something, right? And then let's say, where's the other one? Where's 5? Oh, not that one. 5, there we go. 5 is set to a high pass. Let's turn that into a band. Wherever that went. Oh, it was disabled. There we go. Then let's say here, we also have a little bit of like nasalness around here, right? So this is kind of the thing that you're going to be doing with EQ.
Interesting. I can't.
So you're solving problems basically.
So I'm just trying to match what's on your screen right now, not necessarily for me, but just to do what you're doing.
Yeah, just as an exercise.
And when I grab number 5, I set it to band.
Mm-hmm.
You see how yours look like vampire teeth?
Yeah.
Mine just does a big slope.
Yeah, it's because the bandwidth needs to be brought down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now I'm doing it.
Yeah. That is what other EQs will call a Q, like the letter Q.
Yes.
Yes.
ChatGPT did tell me that.
Yep. And mouse wheel will control that, and so on and so forth. This is going to be something that's easier for me to show you now rather than try to walk you through it. Let's say you have... Actually, hold on. I'm going to do something real quick. Bear with me. This is going to be super annoying.
Okay.
I'm recording audio, recording audio. I'm recording audio. I'm recording audio. I'm recording audio. I'm recording audio. Making a test file. Okay, cool, right? Let's turn off the click here. Let's turn off that. Cool. Okay. Let's make this loop a little bit better. So, what you're gonna... The whole thing is like trying to find problematic frequencies that stand out. There might be something you're like, there's something there, I can't quite put my finger on it. There's something annoying and I need to figure out what it is. So what people will do is a sweep. And basically it involves bringing one of these up real tall, finding the annoying part and reducing it. So
Oh, weird.
now
So
that's the frequency. Yeah.
Can I make ReEQ like a little preset for myself? Record myself doing just one note? Can I just go "Ooh," and then loop that and tune that to where I want and use that as the preset?
If the song contains only that note at that level, then yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because you have to realize you're never going to do one thing that affects everything in the way that you want it to do it. So like this, like you listen to this. Here, let me.
Oh, I hear the different things with like the D's.
You see how that's like that whistling is going in and out?
Yeah.
It's because the human voice is nearly on just one frequency the whole time. So there's like variances and things and changes that poke in and out. And basically that frequency like drifts. So if I do this... Oh, why are you not doing it? So now that honkiness gets like larger or more pronounced, but also goes in and out. So basically at that point, like, cool, you found the frequency that's a problem, notch it out. And then you're going to go in and do the next one.
Okay, can you show me again how you made it skinny?
Yeah, with the bandwidth or mouse wheel.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 3 sliders on the screen, so it's one of them.
I was watching your peaks and not the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. But the mouse wheel will do that too, so.
Oh.
Unless it bugs out like it was for me, so. So then what I do once I found a frequency, instead of dragging it down because that's not going to stay locked on the frequency, I just grab the gain and do that there. So now if we turn this off and on, and let's go in here to band 1 and turn off the low. The band 1 is just the first one here. That's the high pass. It's the one that does this big slope, right?
No, the ones labeled bland.
Oh, band. That's what these are. These two are bands. Bands are just bells, basically. It's like a band of frequencies. It's nothing special. It goes up or down in a finite amount. So yeah. So let's go into, let's turn this off real quick. I'm gonna turn off the high pass that does that big slope, and so this is the audio without those two cuts. Then we turn the cut on. It doesn't help that I went closer to the mic. I should have just stayed consistent. But then I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Like, these basically just remove like tiny little annoyances. But this one is going to remove all the mud at the bottom. Hear that?
Do it again. So to me, when you turn that off, I like it better because it's got more bass to it.
Yeah, but you don't need it. It's mud. Are you a bass guitar or a kick drum or a synth? You don't need it.
No, but I'm not a soprano, so I want to make my contralto tones come out.
Do you know what the key to like thick, low, nasty, beefy guitars are? The distorted guitars are?
Mm-mm.
Bass guitar. You get rid of all the low end from the actual guitar. The low end that you think is a guitar is a bass. Your voice is the same. You need some low end, but like all of that mud, everything below like 100 hertz or so ballpark, garbage info. It's in the way of your bass, your kick, all of that. Just completely in the way.
Oh.
So yes, soloed out, it sounds less full. Okay, cool. Yeah. No one listens to your to your voice soloed. They're going to hear it in the context of the mix. And by you doing bloop that, you free up all the room for your kick, for your bass, for your low synths, sub synths, all that shit. Just frees it up because your voice is no longer competing. So that means you're not contributing to extra volume that's hitting that master bus and peaking it where nothing else is peaking. So that's what I was saying before about the whole frequency like puzzle. Kind of have to like figure it out and like get some things out of the way for others. But
Okay.
that's why you were going off of that kind of like cheat sheet template of what to do with the vocal EQ. It really meant a high pass or low cut, not a low shelf, because all of this information is useless.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's one way to make something sound worse, it's to have like a muddy low end, because it's all flubby. It's all just ugh. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing there. Let me go ahead and stop sharing here. Stop sharing Reaper. There we go. Yeah, we'll just leave that there. Let me go ahead and pull up my Discord again. Why are you sharing that? Stop sharing. Oh, you were sharing both. What are you doing? That's weird. Okay. Yeah. All right. I can see yours now. I'm going to take my headphones off again.
Okay. Yeah, because now I'm no longer. So let's just focus on my vocals. So let me
Okay.
loop 2 different tonalities into one. I'm going to loop to there, and I'm going to mute the first chorus. Okay. We're going to listen.
And up before a painted
Nope.
throne.
Pause. I want to turn. Oh, duh.
Yeah, we had those muted from earlier.
Forgot what I forgot that you said I could just turn off the folder. I don't have to do the slidey thing on the whole thing. Okay. So now I've got just my vocals up. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of you talking to me, but I can still hear me.
And up before a painted throne.
I can barely hear that.
Write my name in chain and stone. While your colors on my chest, just bleeding like the rest.
Okay, we're gonna.
Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruised my hands to shape your
I remember what you
crown. You raised me
said.
up
This
and
was
let me drown. Oh, how the war
Nope.
Nope. Not a shelf. It was a pass.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Pass. Now the bump.
Write my name in chain and stone. While your colors on my chest, just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruised my hands to shape your crown. You raised me up and let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweet.
Okay, I like it right there.
Okay. Yeah, you should basically like once you start like losing the I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like you still want like obviously a full vocal. You just don't need like thick mud in the vocal. Once you start losing what you feel is like kind of useful, that's where that cut should be. And somewhere around like depending on the vocalist, 100 to 180 is a good place to start.
Yeah, and I stopped at 103. That's why I kept sliding around.
Yeah.
Hear the difference?
Exactly. And yeah.
Okay, so we got the first band 1 done.
Mhm.
So let's do band 2. Let's see what things do. I hear nothing.
Well, that's because it's doing nothing. You look at the gain, it's 0.
Oh, it's enabled.
Yeah, but the gain is set to 0.
Oh.
So now you're cutting.
Oh, okay, that's doing something.
Yeah.
Oh.
So before you start getting crazy here, the rule of thumb is usually subtractive EQ is better than additive EQ. You start adding frequency, boosting to things, it starts getting real cluttered, real kind of like, eh. So typically you're going to look for things that are problems that you want to remove first. So if there's usually people have like a little bit of like a nasally.
I do.
So I don't remember what that frequency is. Let's see. Nasal frequency.
I never noticed
range.
it until I started recording myself.
Okay, so like according to that, it's like basically between 800 to 1.5K, sometimes 2K or higher. So I would say like somewhere around 1 to 2K, start like looking at that. And so this is where you're going to kind of do the thing that I was showing before, where like you like exaggerate with a narrow bandwidth up, boosted pretty high, and sweep through and find something that's annoying.
Okay. So let me turn this up so I can hear it. And then you said, I just want to try it first, that I can go here,
Yeah.
go and use my mouse wheel. Hey.
Yeah. And you typically want that to be like a little bit narrow, not like needle thin, but like kind of
I
close.
disabled it.
Yeah, it does that sometimes.
Come back down here. Okay. All
So
right. Hitting play. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so yeah, you're going to want that cue to be like pretty much all the way up, like drag the gain pretty much all the way up, but then the bandwidth is going to, you're going to want it to be very narrow, because the point is you're trying to basically put a magnifying glass to a small number of frequencies. So like something like that.
Okay. And then I'm going to drag this left, right?
I would honestly, you could just grab that, or you could use the frequency slider as well. Think of each of those three controls like axes on the graph, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just hit play and just sweep that frequency and see what you hear.
All right, let's do it.
They called it love, it felt like pride. And now before a painted throne, write my name in chain and stone.
You're going to want to go pretty slow.
Just to bleed.
Let me pause that for a minute. Am I listening for the whistle?
Yeah, whistle or like screaming or like something, because this isn't a very, very packed vocal. You'll want to go kind of slow, because there's like only bits of actual information. So you'll want to kind of like
I'm listening to isolate and get rid of the whistle.
Yeah, it basically anything that sounds like really egregious.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure what exactly I was identifying, that I'm supposed to hear the whistle, and I'm supposed to leave this there when I hear the whistle?
Yes.
Or when the whistle is gone?
When you hear the whistle, because basically what we're doing, so the end goal is to remove something. But how do you know what you want to remove? It's hard to tell. So we're turning the volume up very loud to emphasize those problems. And then once we find those problems, then we'll pull the gain down to remove it. Yeah. So think of it like this. We're like going over everything with a magnifying glass right now. We're making it bigger so we can see what we need to erase.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Ready.
Eating like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruise my hands and shape your crown. You raise me up and let me drown. Oh, how the war
okay, the whistle stops here, but the whistle starts here and doesn't end.
My name in chain and stone. While your collar's on my chest.
So there's always going to be some sort of whistle. There's always going to be some sort of whistle, because we're boosting the volume by a lot. What we're looking for are the ones that are extreme outliers and the ones that are extremely annoying. So yeah, you're always going to hear a sweep. You're always going to hear something, but you have to find the ones that are really bad.
So there are different tones in here.
Yeah.
So when I go lower, I'm getting a
yeah. But also
we
don't need to, because that's exactly how frequencies work. Low frequencies are ooh, high frequencies are piercing.
Am I with band number 2, am I identifying the high notes, or am I identifying the low notes?
I mean, just because from left to right, 2 is on the low side, I would probably use the lower half, but like there's no rule about it.
I will find the most annoying low.
Yeah,
That
basically.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wine.
And you don't need to do anything below like 100 hertz either.
Okay.
Bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up, then let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweetly lied. They called it love, it felt like pride. And knelt before a painted throne. Write my name in chain and stone.
There it is.
Yeah.
Found it.
It might be also a little bit,
low tone.
it might also be a little to the left when you're in the lower register.
Because, and I kept in for a reason, I kept my pre-chorus in because those were not my growly vocals. They were my clean higher vocals. The clean higher vocals has no whoo.
Yeah, no, because it's not at that frequency, so it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. But I think there might be something a little bit to the left of that as well. When you're in that lower register, hit play again.
While your collar's on my chest, I just bleeding like the rest.
Ooh.
Drank your praise like sacred wine.
So I would find the center point of that region between that point and the point you had before.
Shape your crown.
Okay.
You raise me up, then let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweet.
gonna wait for it to cycle again.
Called it love, it felt like pride. And up before a painted throne, write my name in chain and stone.
Yeah, so that's where I would start bringing it down. So just grab the gain, drop it down.
Until I don't hear it anymore.
Basically, I mean, because like honestly, when it's like zeroed out, like put it to 0 and listen to it.
It undid the change I made.
No, it's still there. It's still there.
All your collar's on my chest.
Now drop the gain down, like maybe like 10 dB.
Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up.
Now boost it back up.
I was trying to find where I don't hear the sound anymore.
Yeah.
And let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweetly lied. They called it love, it felt like pride. And
I would probably go a little bit less drastic than that. Maybe like 5 dB.
while your collar's on my chest, just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise like
And then make the bandwidth a little bit wider, just a little bit.
bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up, then let me drown.
And now like cycle through, basically listen to it by turning on and off that bandwidth by the enabled checkbox. Yeah.
Okay.
Love, it felt like pride. And up before a painted throne, write my name in chain and stone.
Oh.
While your collar's on my chest,
It's very subtle.
just
It is very subtle. EQ is full of subtleties.
drank your
That's why it's annoying.
Okay.
So basically, that is what you kind of have to do. It's easy to go overboard. You don't want to EQ every single sweep you hear, but as you start doing this more, you'll figure out, oh, this frequency conflicts with guitars, or oh, this just creates a nasally thing that just it sounds off. You're gonna start finding things like that. So let's now find something. So we've done a surgical cut. That's kind of what this is. It's like something very precise, very surgical. So now let's try to find maybe somewhere like a little presence boost or something.
Okay.
So hit play again, and what we're going to do is leave everything kind of the way it is on number 3, but we're just going to kind of like move it to like maybe around the 3K section and start turning it up there a little bit.
Okay. Moving the frequency up to 3,000 hertz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine.
Yeah, and then like
Bruised my hand,
turn up the gain a little bit.
you raised me up, then let me drown. Oh, how the war
Maybe a little bit more just because we're playing around.
love, it felt like pride.
And maybe make the bandwidth a little bit more narrow.
Painted throne. Write my name in chain and stone. While your colors on my chest. Just to bleed.
And just kind of like, instead of doing the sliders, grab the dot and kind of move it around.
Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up, then let me drown. Oh, how the war song.
So what we're looking for is like basically something in like your upper mid register that just adds a little bit of like warmth and like presence.
While your colors on my chest, just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up, then let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweetly lied. They called it love, it felt like pride. And knelt before a painted throne. Write my name in chain and stone. While your colors on my chest, just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine. Bruised my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up, then let me drown. Oh, how the war song sweetly lied. They called it love, it felt like pride.
So is that something you feel like it needed to be removed, or?
I do, but I need to check something. I need to do something.
Okay.
I want to keep you on. Turn that off. Okay. Back. Oh, we're not messing with the EQ on the pre-chorus. I'm not making any changes at all to the pre-chorus.
No, we're just affecting the verse.
We're just affecting the verse.
Yeah.
Okay. I keep listening to the chorus for something. See, this is... Okay. Let me just stop confusing myself. Let me stop confusing myself for just a moment. Can I? I can. There we go. Good.
For a painted throne, write my name in chain and stone. While your colors on my chest, just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps.
So for this one, find something that you like that.
I like that.
Okay.
There's a, for lack of a better term, there's a tin to my growl that I don't like.
Cool.
That I'm trying to make go away, and when I put it right there, it goes away.
Cool.
If I go in either direction, it comes back. If
Then
I go
there
back,
you go.
it comes back. So
You have solved a problem. So those are like two different types of ways that you'll go about like finding frequencies that are annoying. So there's the kind of more like vibe based where you're kind of like taking a wide cue and just kind of moving it around. And then there's the more surgical narrow cue, blast it up, find specific frequencies. And then as far as when it comes to your like, it feels a little flat in like the upper mids. Let's just do a little bump, boost it up there. And then the other one is going to be that high shelf. So let's play with that real quick.
you are making this make a whole shit ton more sense than everything I have tried previously. You're goddamn genius. Hang on. I want... Oh no, that'll probably get annoying. Never mind. I was feeling snacky, but I don't want to crunch on your stream. Never mind.
That's fine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we are going to 4 and we are doing a shelf. Our
Yeah.
number 1 is a pass. Our number 4 is a shelf.
Yep.
Okay.
So go ahead and hit play.
My hands to shape your crown.
Now just turn up the gain on the shelf slowly.
Let me drown. And knelt before a painted throne. Write my name in chain and stone.
I don't notice anything.
While your colors
You should. I hear it.
Oh, there I do.
just to bleed.
It's
Hang on,
all-
I had to figure out what I was listening for.
Drank your praise like sacred wine.
Oh, it's farther to the right, so it's the high pitched stuff.
Bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up, then let me drown. And now before
I get it.
I can tell you right now, your main vocal probably isn't going to use a shelf.
Oh.
None of these vocals are probably going to use a shelf. I just wanted you to see what it does. And like, go ahead and hit play again. Now bring the frequency down.
Before I do, I'm going to tell you what I noticed, and you tell me if I got it right. When I started sliding the gain up, I noticed a high-pitched squeal up there.
Yep.
And so I started sliding down until I didn't hear the squeal anymore.
Yeah, because basically everything above the line, above that midpoint line, is louder. Everything below the midpoint line is softer. Everything that's colored in by the swoopy line is what's being affected. So as you start turning the gain up, you're literally turning up a volume knob for every single frequency that's highlighted by that line. It's like you have an audio interface like what your mic is plugged into, but every single mic plug is one frequency. And you're turning them all up at the same time.
Follow up.
Yeah.
If I don't need, is 4 always dedicated to high shelf?
Nah.
If not,
it's just the preset.
Should I just program that in my head?
It's just the default.
And if I don't need it, should I just remove the band? Or should I just delete number 5 and leave 4 and change 4 to the type of 4?
It depends. It fully depends. Because on what you need. Because you want to see something crazy, go to 5.
It's not enabled by default.
Yeah.
I have noticed
Turn it
that
on.
you did it on yours too.
Turn it on.
Okay.
For some odd reason, it assigns that to a high pass. I don't know why. Put it to a low pass. I don't know why they do this, not from left to right. Now move the frequency up all the way. Yeah, just grab it or do that, whatever. That is the same thing as what we have on the left side, but now it's on the right side. So that is a high, that's a low pass. Everything below it will pass. So move it back down a little bit. Maybe not that far, like maybe in between, like somewhere around there. Yeah. Now go back to number 4. Move the frequency down a bit. Yeah, a little bit more. Now turn the gain up. So the shelf is going to go all the way until something cuts it off, whether that's the edge of the graph or that's a cut. So you can use a shelf and a cut together. It's weird, but you could do it.
Okay.
What you're more likely to do on these individual vocal tracks is to use a low pass instead of a shelf, because a shelf is typically a little bit more of a gradual thing, and you'll probably end up using it on the vocal bus instead, because you're still probably going to want to do a little bit of EQ on the vocal bus. So like I said, this is all additive. You do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there.
That goes to my questions earlier that I was asking you. I was watching that guy's video and he had 50 million EQs. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand why if I am setting number one, high pass, let's just call it 100 frequency.
Yeah.
Let's go because I can't math. Let's do 100 frequency.
I already gave you the answer to this, by the way.
Did you and I missed it?
I told you earlier.
Earlier today.
Yeah. The answer, short version is, this is all very small, gradual things. You do not do all of your compression on the first try. You do not do all of your EQ on the first try. So it's like this EQ, kind of what we're doing here, is a more surgical EQ. What I would say is reset band 4, because you're not going to use a shelf. Just reset band 4. You don't need it. Whoa, that reset all.
Oh, damn it.
Control Z or Command Z. Yeah, so
Can I just go?
yeah, well, no, because that's 1. Go to 4.
That's one.
Yeah.
Can I
Or
do
you can
that?
just double click on all of the sliders and that'll put them back. Yeah, and then if you hit enable, it's going to do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way you can still use it if you need to like notch something out. Maybe there's a high whistle. And then go to band 5.
Hmm?
And so typically what you're going to want to do, like on vocals, guitars, whatever, like you kind of want to scrap all of the high end info that you don't need and all of the low end info that you don't need. So you're the same thing you did on the high pass for the low frequencies, you're going to want to do on the high pass here, but you have to be kind of careful because you don't want to like completely eat away all of the like the air, the high end sparkle shine. So it's like you don't even have to do it if you don't want to. Only do it if it's really a problem. That's what I would say.
Okay. And it's probably not necessary, at least for this song, on the verses, because I'm in my lower register growl.
Yeah, exactly. You would only do it if it was a problem. Like you could test it out, like just play it, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on.
Oops. I accidentally added a track. I added 2 tracks.
Yeah, you did that earlier.
There we go.
Because you should be able to hit play, I think, from within that menu.
Okay. Is that the frequency? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm hearing what it's doing. Oh, okay. I noticed something. Hang on.
Yeah, so like right now it's not doing much.
I'm noticing something.
While your collar's on my chest, just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called him mine.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean if it's solving a problem, then there you go.
A hiss in my upper in the upper edge.
Yeah.
That I hear when I started playing with it. I started noticing it, and right there, it doesn't take me into blanket territory.
Yeah.
It doesn't start taking me into blanket territory, but it's removing that weird hiss. I like that.
There you go. You're mixing by listening with your ears, not what someone tells you.
But it's finally making sense.
Yeah.
I didn't understand
It has
exactly
to click.
what I was
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, that's why I was like stressing you have to like not just Reaper 101, but like mixing 101. Like what are the fundamentals of just the broad concepts of EQ and like why you do certain things. Like you like it obviously was counterintuitive. Like you're like, I want the bassiness, get rid of the bass, right? So it's like it is what it is.
But now it makes more sense why everybody was saying, like, for example, for this track, why my pre-chorus is going to be EQ'd differently from my verse.
Yeah.
Why I can't just EQ the whole damn track.
Well,
why I have
to be
keep
fair,
the pre-chorus against the verse, because my pre-chorus is in my head tones, which is producing different frequencies from my growls.
to be
And that's the
fair,
reason-
you probably can because it's still your voice. It's mostly the same. What I would do,
You know, it comes from different cavities because
Yeah.
your chest voice
Yeah.
comes from, it
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
from your
yeah.
chest,
It's-
which gives you that rounder sound in your
I
head
I
tone.
can tell you right now
Bell.
that
High
most
up.
vocalists who switch voicings probably don't go to different tracks just to do that. Especially songs where like you're doing it like for like one or two words and then coming back in, like they don't fuck with that because at that point you're getting into diminishing returns. So it's like you basically just have your verse because all of your verse tones are going to be roughly the same, whether you're going from low to high, high to low, whatever. It's mostly the same. The reason why you split verse from chorus is because the dynamic and effectual nature of the two pieces that they are in the song are so vastly different. Verses are supposed to be smaller, focused, narrow. They're like just there. Choruses come in and punch you in the fucking face. So they're going to have different treatment. That's why. Like now there are things that may come in like where you have that other section that is in a completely different register. You might find a frequency there that needs to be cut that wasn't in the others. You could probably still do that with band 4. It's sitting there doing nothing. We zeroed it out. Or additionally, you can add a separate instance of requeue if you're out of bands that only does that one band. Just that one thing.
Here's a question.
You can
How many
automate that
bands
one
am I
off.
and
Oh, I think, I forget you can add bands.
okay.
Yeah, so you
I
could
was
just,
like, how am I out of bands when
I forget.
like max out at 6?
I think it's like 10 or something. I don't know. But yeah, so you could do that. Or if you just want to say, this is my baseline surgical EQ, cool. And then let's say you have another like problem EQ for that pre-chorus section, then you just automate that on there, automate it off. That's another option.
So is there any reason why I cannot save this as a preset for myself to start here from now on until eternity? Start here, but always go and look.
You'll probably change it later, but yeah, I mean, just I would say like, oh, you didn't give it a name. I think you
No,
can
it's
name
on
it.
the other window.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. And then like,
There we go.
yeah, and then just like when you come up with the next version, give it like number 2 or whatever. That way you
All
Yeah.
right, you
Yeah.
ready to explain what the fuck a compressor actually does? I get the word. It is squishing it.
I have time to do a short version. What do you think it does?
It squishes it. Compress.
Yeah, basically.
Squish.
It squishes it when? What has to happen
That-
for it to squish?
That's what I don't understand. I don't understand exactly what it's squishing. I'm assuming it's squishing the waveform, that it's
Well-
making the waveform smaller.
Waveform is just a word for something that you see on a screen.
Yes, it's making this.
It has
smaller.
no, because that is literally just, well, it doesn't matter. What it's doing is it is a conditional volume knob. Basically,
An
it
if-then
will-
knob.
huh?
An if-then knob.
Basically,
Okay.
it will say when volume gets to a certain loudness, turn it down by a certain amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then why are there so many sliders?
Because how fast do you want it to engage once it detects that threshold of when to start doing it? how long do you want it to keep that turned down once it no longer detects it? How steep of an angle should that ratio knee look like?
Okay, I get the first two.
Yeah.
Explain how steep of an angle.
Yeah, that doesn't really
totally
matter.
I totally grok the first two.
That's fine. That's future use problem.
Okay.
But now
All
you
right.
do need to know what the ratio is. That's kind of the important thing here.
Tate said 4-1. Start with the default 4-1.
Do you know what that means?
No, I just trusted Tate and set it to 4-1.
Okay. So basically it's for every 4 decibels that it's over the limit, to reduce it by 1. Or is it the other way around? Every 1 decibel, reduce it by 4, something like that. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's for every 1 decibel it's over the limit, reduce it by X number.
Okay.
Yeah. So 4-1 is a good starting point for vocals, usually with a fast-ish attack, slightly slower release. Something like what's on there is fine. And then your threshold is the one that's on the left. And the threshold is that, well, threshold. So hit play.
Bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raise me up.
Now you see how that big meter to the right of all the sliders is doing nothing? Not that one. That's your output. That doesn't matter. The big one to the left of the output. No. That one. The one that's doing nothing. That means the compressor is doing literally nothing right now. Take the threshold, start pulling it down until that starts doing something.
Okay, I've seen this before. It's got the red bit.
Yep.
Write my name in chain and stone.
I just wanted to see what would happen.
On my chest, just bleeding like the rest.
So just like EQ, compression should be kind of subtle. Maybe like 3 to 8 decibels.
Hang on, let it play again. I think I set it to 3. Oh,
Nah, it's barely doing anything.
Just bleeding like the rest. Drank your praise.
There it is.
Sacred wine.
now I got my 3s.
Yeah, so what that's doing is those loud bits, it's turning them down just as they poke through.
Okay. All right.
So this basically means like you don't have to like ride volume automation nearly as much as you thought you did, because this takes care of the little pokies. Yeah, this
Oh my god.
you still kind of have to do it, because there are obviously, if you're going into something really soft, you gotta boost it, right? But as far as like the little syllables or like phrases that are just here and there, little plosives, like this is gonna help tame those, or like little screams, because especially for rock vocals, everything you kind of want during choruses especially, it's all going to be very solid, very similar. And compression is how you get there. But you're not going to be able to do it all at once. It's going to be like, you'll do a compression here, and then you'll do like your fresh air thing, and then you'll do like another compression maybe to do just a little bit, like a couple dB here, a couple dB there. Some maybe that are faster, some that are slower. It's all just to taste, but like, that's the same. It's the same thing as EQ. You have a fuck ton of EQs stacking, doing basically death by 1,000 cuts. Same with compression, because those large compression moves, you're going to hear it pump. You're going to hear it sound really artificial. So you have to do it kind of like little pieces here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my fresh air came from actually like 4 different Reddit threads. I kept seeing it mentioned over and over again, so I downloaded it and started playing with it.
It's probably just like a little like top end sparkle thing, I'm guessing.
Maybe, but I started like some of my words that were bleeding out where I couldn't understand the word.
Yeah.
When I set it, there's my setting. When I set it to 50/30, for whatever that is, I could understand myself better. So I've kept it. I was just like, this is my understandability button.
Hmm. Interesting.
We're setting this. And I have just kept it locked at
Gotcha.
50/30. I just repeat it, and it is a no thought thing. I just auto add it at that setting. And then I kind of wish I know that is what all the other tools are for. But I like for vocal effects, I do not want to have to twist 50 knobs to get a megaphone. Give me a button that says megaphone. And then let me adjust the sound of the megaphone from there. So I like this reverb because I understand what these are doing.
Yeah, it's just a simple one knob.
It's just one
Yeah.
knob. I can tell the difference, in my dial. I know what each one of these sounds does in my head. So when I start mixing my track, I know I want reverb and I want small room and I want it at like 4. Or I want plate reverb and I want it at 8.
Yeah.
So I've got it locked in my head. So this is like one of my favorite buttons.
Yeah, one knob style plugins are pretty cool, but like
teaching me about EQ helps me solve another problem because some of these reverbs, they have this piercing sound to the reverb that I don't like.
Yeah.
And now I know how to keep my reverb and get rid of the piercing sound.
I was actually going to mention this earlier when we were talking about like reverb buses and all that. Part of the reason why you you don't really always do reverb on your main vocal track, but you bus it out to a separate reverb bus, is because you can EQ just the reverb and not affect your main vocal.
Let's sidetrack for just a moment. Show me on my screen how I do just an EQ, a reverb bus. What does it look like?
So I would make another folder within your vocal bus.
Okay.
And I would call it like effects bus. You can shorthand that to FX.
Oh.
Just, less typing.
Okay.
Yeah. Drag it down to the bottom.
Okay.
Not that far to the bottom. But, yep, there we go. Cool. Actually, no, undo that real quick. Go ahead and actually like drag the folder up to where it gets to the little folder icon. Yeah.
To the bridge?
Yeah, just make sure that I wonder if like doing the other thing did weird stuff. I don't know. Okay. So wait, no, you don't want it to be a child of bridge. Sorry.
I want it to be a child of
vocal bus.
That does make it. Oh, right. I need to go one click.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it is a child of, so 2 clicks.
Yeah.
Of bridge. One
Yeah.
click makes it.
So now make another track. And make it a child of effects. Cool. Just call that like reverb.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is drag the IO button of your well, no, cuz hold on. Scroll up real quick. Yeah, okay, so that's not going to work. Easy way. Typically, what I would do is actually put all of the vocal tracks within another folder within the vocal bus.
Oh wait,
Yeah. So make another folder in vocal bus. Yeah, make a folder there. And then put everything from verse to bridge inside that.
And then do that?
Yes, exactly. So now take that new folder we created, just call it like Vox. Cool. So then drag the Vox IO, drag that to your reverb. I believe that's how to make a send.
Yes, that is how to make a send.
Cool. So now put a reverb on that.
See right there.
Yep, put a reverb on that.
Okay, I'll put my fave. I'll put my muse. Get those words out of there. Go. Put my fave at my fave. At my fave. Done.
So now if you hit play,
And now before a painted throne.
Whoa.
Write my name in
Oh, wait.
stone.
Hang on.
While your collar's on my chest.
Ah, it is there.
yeah, now mute out that reverb track while it's playing. Just let it play.
Drank your praise like sacred wine. Fought for scraps and called it mine.
Okay.
And now you can unmute it and bring it back.
You raised me up, then let me drown.
And then the fader for it, you can like drag that up if you want to make the reverb really loud.
While your collar's on my chest, just bleeding like the
No, that brought my volume up. It did not bring the volume of. It did not amplify the reverb. It just made me louder.
Are you sure?
Oh, sorry. I drug FX up. I didn't drag reverb up. I did it wrong.
Drank your praise like sacred wine.
There it is.
Fought for scraps and called it
Oh.
bruise my hands to shape your crown. You raised
Don't have a lot of headroom there, but yeah.
And now before
And then just double click on those faders to zero them back out. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so now you can go into that effects chain on your reverb and add like an EQ.
Helps if I'm typing.
And then you can like problem solve. I wouldn't do that.
No. Okay.
No, because you're already doing that on the main track, right? So basically what we're sending this track is all of the affected stuff. Well, I mean, you turned off the effects on the main track, but if you turn the effects back on the main track, we're sending it.
I get it. I can EQ just the reverb.
Just the reverb.
The whistly sound.
Yes, that's why we put these things on separate buses. You're going to do the same thing with delays and any other like any any other like effect like this that's like kind of especially kind of a global effect. And to go even further, what you'll typically have is like a short reverb and a long reverb, or like a short delay and a long delay. And then you'll have like your short reverb be a little bit louder, like bring down the volume on your long reverb. And then you can also automate the long reverb to come up during gaps in your section, like that video that I sent you. Like, you could do all this shit separately. And because it's coming directly from your vocal bus, it's kind of coming from all of your tracks.
Okay. So, okay, that makes so much more sense now. Okay. Oh my God. So I can fix the problem areas of the effect while still keeping the effect
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
affecting my vocal.
Yeah. Because the vocal isn't the problem, it's the EQ. Or, I mean, it's the reverb that's the problem. Everything going into the reverb is fine. You have to fix what's coming out of the reverb without affecting what's going in.
Oh my God. This makes so much more sense. And by the way, I took a side dalliance in Logic Pro.
Logic's cool.
Because of the stock effects that come with it. So I thought that perhaps I could use it to help myself make my vocal tracks the way I wanted when I
kind of the same as Reaper.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
I can't, I've got to wait for where'd you go? I got to wait for that guy. I absolutely freaking love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's $65.
Yeah.
I don't have a $65.
For
what
like
I do have is a 90-day fucking free trial of Logic Pro that comes built in with a lot of the named presets that I was referring to, where I can literally just go megaphone.
Yeah.
And then tune it to get what I want. And then I can render my track back out and pull it back in to Reaper.
Yeah. Or you could just Google for free megaphone plugin.
I tried. I couldn't find one that was free. All I kept finding was people saying, if you set these 80 settings, you'll get the megaphone. And I'm like, I don't want to do 80 settings. I want to click a button. Because I don't understand your settings. Like, until I grasp the concepts behind them, like I'm now grasping EQ, I need easy buttons.
I'm assuming you probably saw like the Reaper blog one from like 2016. It's like saying use a fuzzbox, narrow bandwidth EQ, use distortion, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Like,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, because that way you can get it exactly the way that you want it to. But this isn't free, but it was $9 at one point. That's kind of not bad.
What's it at right now?
Let's see.
You happen to have $9.
It's $11.
I can afford $11 right now.
Let me drop this in the chat real quick. I'll put it.
And just to reiterate, I so appreciate all of your help. Oh my God, the strides that I've made just tonight are
I'll put this in
monumental to
that chat as well. Maybe. Paste. Okay, it's in. Oh wow, he yelled at me too. Yeah, it's like $11. It's on sale for $11. Okay. I would try it first. Check the demos.
Oh, right. How do I? No.
There's a little trash can
Alright.
right there. Yeah.
There it is. Excellent. You
Yeah.
just download. I don't have to sign up for anything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
No, I don't want to close all. I just wanted to close. Oh. Oh, yeah, I did want to do that. Okay.
Yeah. So, do you know how to rescan for plugins after you've installed them?
Yep.
Okay,
By
good.
putting your mouse right down there and click and scan for new plugins. I saw that. I saw Ken doing that. And I was like, that's the
Yay.
greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yay.
Freaking fantabulous.
Probably shouldn't be doing that in the mic.
It was not that bad.
Okay, good. Onto the water.
It just straight up sounded like, the straw slurpy sound instead of like, something piercing or anything. No, I don't want to close you. I want to close you and then pop for new plugin. And Dunzo, because I need it for Circus.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yay!
See if it works. I mean, honestly, like, a megaphone effect is extremely easy to do with effects and, with things that you already have or free things. But I get also being able to just be like, I don't want to struggle. I just want it to go. But yeah, so.
I'm like trying to figure out, because when you're learning, you're only going to remember the 3% of the information at a time.
Yep.
So I'm trying to stack things in order of importance. So for things that I want right now, but I don't have my fundamentals for, I want the easy button. My fundamentals, I want to, as I'm figuring out, right, EQ, compressor, and everything, I'm copying until I grok them.
Yeah.
Until I understand.
But I can tell
the
you,
next, and I'm stepping through it.
From that Reaper blog video, it would have taught you a lot of the things that I taught you today. Just not necessarily the same application, but very similar. It would have showed you how to do like high pass, low pass, stuff like that with EQ. Like,
which Reaper blog video was it? I had open all of your videos and I was going through it. The first guy didn't explain enough and I was just getting confused. So I started moving on to the other vocal ones. Cause like, I just kept coming to you and I'm like, I don't understand what he's saying.
It was this one here.
This is in a bus and that's a bus and.
I put it in stream chat.
Got it. Oh, yeah, I was here.
Yeah.
I was here, but I saw all of this stuff and was like, not what I'm looking for, and moved on.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the cool thing about what he likes to show you is how to actually do things, right? Like, had you had gone through this process, it would have taught you a lot of fundamentals. And that's like you said, having a one knob thing to do a thing is fucking great. It's an amazing time saver when you just need to like not twist knobs, not waste time. You're in a creative mode. You just need to verb and go. But if you're trying to learn how to do shit, building your own things is a great way of how to do those. I mean, that's how I learned to do like lo-fi guitar stuff, is like creating, taking just req, making a high pass, low pass, and automating the swells. Like, okay, cool. Now I know how to do that. So
did I force you to listen to that hella sad song that I made?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
remember.
I think so.
I learned a thing and did a thing, and made something more. It's still too simple, but I don't know how to. Well, I'm learning. I took a stab at that earlier today, and I made a guitar loop and did some things.
Nice.
So I'm still learning on that. I keep taking side dalliances because I don't want to burn myself out on one thing or another because my ADHD brain keeps hyper focusing, and I know if I hyper focus for too long in one place, then I will burn myself out on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't want to lose any momentum. So I'm switching tasks when I need to. But I did a cool thing. Now I'm sure there's probably
Don't forget
an
to
easy way
save.
of. I opened a new tab.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Oh, thank you. We've done
Command
fine.
S. Command S.
Oh, I was coming back up here anyways.
Just saying, muscle memory.
I played with a loop.
Nice.
So, what I did, I played this for you, but it's important to the song, and when you know what the song is about, even though I have obscured everything heavily in metaphors, I put these heartbeat sounds in there that come and go, and I think to me feels like I'm providing anxiety, and then ends with this solo dip off.
That's cool.
So I'll play just a little
Yeah.
bit of it. It's a super sad, super slow song, but it's okay. We'll play just a little bit of it. Do you hear the heartbeat?
Mm-hmm. Solo the heartbeat for a bit. I just want to hear that.
I
Okay.
need to EQ that now that I notice those weird clippity sounds.
Is it
But I
EQ?
grabbed it.
What clippity sounds?
If you can't hear it, I don't know how to describe it, but there's a
I mean, it's probably just the sound.
there's a purring sound behind the sound of the heartbeat, and the top of the purring sound has a chirp.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I might just be losing it in the stream compression.
She was still she bled
And I
from the corner
set these at specific points of the words, not the instruments, but the words. And then like it goes away and becomes like that feels anxiety inducing, which
Yeah.
which is what I wanted because when you psychologically speaking, when you hear the sound of a heartbeat, you anticipate it because it's such a built-in sound. And even when there's space, like these little spaces that I put there, your brain will lock in this
and expect it. Yeah.
And expect it. And as soon as there becomes a space on it, your brain immediately goes, wait, hold the fuck up. Why isn't this there anymore?
Yeah.
Because of those deep built-in lizard brain things. So I was playing with that with this track.
Okay. That's cool.
And stretching out. Now, I don't know how to do it. This track needs a cello. I'm going to have to figure out how to put a cello on there and what fucking notes I want to use on the cello and make the cello sound the way I want it to sound, which is swelly. I can
do that for you. Whenever you're at that point, send me just the stereo mix and like BPM and all that shit, and I'll just we can figure it out.
That's awesome. Thank you. That would be amazing. I I really like the point of this song, even though it's quite the departure from all of my stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind
no.
of like its own little separate thing. I really like the point of this song.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, let me just save back. All right. I'm assuming that you are calling it quits for the night.
I want to do at least a little bit in that cover that I was working on, just to at least get
sure.
some chunks
will-
down. So
I will hop on. We can disconnect from here. I'll
Okay.
stop sharing my stream. Stop streaming. There we go.
all right, I will see you over at the stream chat then. Bye bye.
There. Bye.
All right. Get some music going here while I grab my guitar. Moving on to part 2.
You were charlatan, you were charlatan. I knew everything about you, but it's all pretend. Now I'm feeling like I'm building.
Grab the guitar while that loads.
Why can't I save myself? Everything about you says I'm not wrong. You wanna cut me apart. Go ahead, do it again. You were charlatan. I knew everything about you, but it's all pretend. Now I'm feeling like a building about to be condemned. Trigger unhappy, I can't tell a foe from friend. You were charlatan, you were charlatan. I knew everything about you, but it's all pretend.
Get some tuning going on.
Trigger unhappy, I can't tell a foe from friend. I turn my back, that's a heart attack. I know the truth, I'm not anything to you. This is just an act.
I think we're good. Ow, fuck. Okay. Let's see. So I don't think we're gonna do anything here. I'll save that for production day. What was this part here? Yeah, so that'll be pretty easy, I think. Just arm that. Oh yeah, that's why that's solo. Was that muted? Let's just start here. Yeah, I don't think I got that right. Let's go ahead and cheat. Cheat. We'll go look at the tabs. Let's see. Yeah, it does just end on a 0. Yep, that's what that is. Okay. It could probably be done better. Okay. That was a good take. Let's get another good one. Cool. I think we got those takes. And what we're going to do is duplicate that down here. Let's see. What did I make that? Was it Command Shift or Control Shift L? I think so. Go up a take. Oh, let's mute that. Ooh, just ring it. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay. Okay. We'll just chop those ends off. Pull that there. Cursor there. Grab those. S. Delort. Cool. Okay. Save. So because we spent so much fucking time on this shit last time, copy, pasta. Okay. And we'll just, should be able to go here. Yup. Duplicate. Is that the chords? I think that's what the tab was showing too. This riff. Really? I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all. God, it feels like I don't remember how to play. That doesn't feel right. There are other tabs? Let's go official. Official tab. You know what? I will sign in because I do have an account. No. Give me the fucking official tab. And what we're gonna do... They not let me do this? One, two, three, four, five. I think that's right. I suppose that makes that easier. Do a rhythm guitar. Where's this interlude? Yeah, there's that. There's clearly like stuff happening there. Like, it says, according to the tab, it's just this part, but that's not right. I got the parts right, though. Well, let's just do this. Wow, actually got a lot of that. Yeah, let's try that again. Okay. So I think we're good there. Let's get one more actually. And mostly there. Okay. I think we're good on that. Move that there. Go up 2 takes on that. And see what that sounds like without the reference track. Think maybe go up to this take. No, I'll do it here. get it one of these days. I was nearly right. I think that was it. Nope. One more. One more. Okay, I think that's good. I have enough there. I can comp it anyways. Good enough for me.